Welcome. We are live and live in color with your host with the most, Superfly Johnny Lee. We'll be joined later on by NiceGuyAndy. But tonight, we got in studio for the first time ever, we got Kendrick.
What's going on?
And we got photographer Chrystal Brigman.
Hello.
Guys, I can't tell you how excited I am to finally have y'all in studio.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
It's been like 3 years since I've been wanting to get you in.
It's about like that, yeah.
And also, this man right here helped train NiceGuyAndy for our match. I don't know where Andy... I mean, I just wondered he got trained by you, but
He didn't
show it.
He didn't pay me good, so I didn't train him fully.
Oh, man. Well, that explains it. That explains a little bit of everything that day.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this Bullpen Pro Wrestling.
What's going on?
How long have y'all been working for it?
Bullpen had started late, like November of last year. May will be their third show.
Yeah.
So I've been helping the people at Bullpen behind the scenes a little bit, trying to get them a decent roster. I mean, they had ideas on who they wanted.
Yeah.
I'll put my input in on who else they should try to bring in, later dates or whatnot. They seem to be, they listen. So,
As they should.
you know, I mean, they're young. They're all young.
And that's good because that's a new promotion here in Kentucky.
Yep. They will. I don't know the exact date yet, but they are going to have a show in Louisville.
Nice.
But for now, I think we're in the New Albany, Indiana area. So,
That ain't bad.
no, not a bad.
Because
drive.
Indiana is just an hour away from us.
Yeah, it's like 45 minutes away from me.
That's right. All you gotta do is go check it out. Because Bullpen Pro Wrestling sounds like it's a great place. Because Dustin Barnes was here.
Yep.
He says that he's enjoyed it.
Yep. I brought him to the last show and had him meet the higher ups and told him if you need a referee, bring him in.
Hell yeah.
So,
Have you been doing photography for them?
Yes, ever since the first show. So I've been helping them. We trying to, just support that. They have a big vision, and they are about more than just, the money part of everything. They have a big vision about it.
Heck yeah.
So, and that's a lot, especially with wrestling, because it's not about just that part, So they're really awesome people, Gabriel and Neil. If you looked at John Cosper did an article about them.
Love John Cosper.
Yeah, and he just had his book released today for a Grindhouse. And
That's right.
And then Larry D's will be shipping soon too. So yeah, he did a big, huge article about Neil and Gabriel about Bullpen. So it was amazingly well written. So that was about it and how they started, because it was probably a long time making about their love for wrestling and what brought them together to make Bullpen.
Exactly. I mean, that's what it's all about. A brand new company, just starting up, and already on their third show. That's a feat.
yep.
Yeah. They just have such a big passion, and that's what we wanted to help support.
Exactly. And have you both there is also good experience.
Yep.
Because you guys have been around a long time.
That I have.
So, James Kendrick,
Yes, sir.
why don't you let the good folks know who James Kendrick is? Who got you your start in professional wrestling?
Oh, I broke in late 2006. I started with a company that was ran out of Brandenburg.
Yeah.
They were doing a show in Baldra, which was a hop and skip and jumping away from where I lived at. And the owner there, he's like, well, are you trained? I was like, well, I have a little bit of amateur background. And, granted, people shame on it, but I did do the backyard wrestling.
Yeah, I like backyard wrestling. There's something wrong with that.
I had a little bit of understanding on what I was doing. So he's like, well, I'll take you in, and you're just going to sink or swim. Let's see what you got.
That's the best way to do it.
So I guess I swam pretty good. So I've been doing it ever since.
Exactly. People shit on backyard wrestling because they think that backyard wrestlers don't have an understanding of wrestling.
Yeah.
But I've seen some that damn near are close to being just like all the ones you would consider professional.
Yeah. I've seen some backyard shows that will blow any indie show out of the water.
Exactly. Hey, you've been doing your thing for a long time because you were wrestling for Triple Crown Wrestling UCW.
Yep.
I've seen you in a lot of places.
I've been all over the state of Kentucky.
Hell yeah. Have you wrestled for places outside of Kentucky?
I have. I've wrestled in Nashville, Tennessee it was a one-shot deal. It was for NWA Top Rope. No, NWA Main Event.
Nice.
Did that. I worked in Indiana, Grindhouse, Traditional Championship Wrestling. I did a one-shot deal at the Coliseum in Evansville. And I've wrestled in Long Island, New York.
That's awesome. Because New York is a hotbed for professional wrestling.
That it is.
And have you been to the shows that he's been to?
I actually met James in 2018. I met him as I did his promos.
Nice.
And so whenever he asked me to do promos, we were just friends at the time. And then we met because my oldest son, was disabled. He's battled cancer twice.
Yeah.
And then my youngest son was having a lot of trouble doing inside events. And he was a big kind of wrestling fan. And he asked me to bring him to an outdoor show. And so I brought him to the outdoor show. And then COVID happened. And then he asked me to come take pictures of his match whenever he came back to UCW in 2021. And then that's whenever I started taking pictures of wrestling was then.
Nice. That's actually pretty awesome. You guys met 2018. That's a long time now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that shows that y'all have longevity.
Yep.
And we got to meet y'all at Triple Crown Wrestling. Because I remember at 2023, I finally got to see both of y'all together at the Triple Crown Wrestling event. It's also where I met Tony.
Yeah.
People try to say that people with autism can't do things, but Tony proves that yes, we can.
Yeah.
Hell of an announcer.
I don't care if you have a disability or not. If you think you can do it, go for it.
Exactly. Because disability can't hinder you. I've seen wrestlers that wrestle with disabilities all the time.
Yep.
Brandon Wolf has autism. He wrestles. There's so many others that have different types of diseases that still wrestle.
There was a guy, I don't think he's wrestling anymore, but he had cerebral palsy.
Yeah. And he proved that he could wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
Which is awesome because it shows that wrestling, if you want it bad enough, if you understand it bad enough, you could do it.
Yep.
But there are people that try it and then they fail because they didn't have their heart in it. And you gotta have your heart in it if you're gonna do it, because you gotta remember, wrestling takes a toll on the body.
Yes, it does.
A lot of people don't understand that because they watch TV wrestling. They're like, that ring is trampoline, but I've set up rings. I know for a fact that there's no damn trampoline. So how's a wrestler not getting hurt from it?
Sometimes I'd rather be wrestling on the floor than in a ring.
Yeah, because
Sometimes the floor's softer.
yeah, because the ring is basically boards that's stacked, and then underneath those boards, you got barely anything to protect those boards from bouncing up.
Yep.
So you got the metal beams that's down underneath, across from each other. One beam that's underneath there.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever people see the bounce, what they don't understand is that what you're seeing, it's not a trampoline.
Nope.
That's literally boards bouncing off of a metal beam that's bouncing back up and pushing those boards up. And that's what you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And a wrestler is definitely getting bruised up from it.
Yeah. I've hurt my back plenty of times.
Exactly. And also the ropes.
Yep.
The people don't understand. You run those ropes, you're going to get bruised from that too. That's why I have respect for you, because you did backyard wrestling first.
Yep.
And people try to shit on backyard wrestling, but let's be real. Backyard wrestling has given a lot of our wrestlers that we see on TV their starts.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with independent wrestling.
Yep.
When we had Jacob Ratliff in here, he had his start in bare knuckle boxing, backyard style.
Yeah.
So that makes me say you're doing great.
I try.
I mean, you have to be.
I try to do great.
I mean, you did for Andy, but you can't. Let's be honest. He didn't pay you the money they should have. He thought that paying you what he thought was going to be good would help him get trained.
Yep.
And he got what he paid for.
Yep. Exactly how it is.
Exactly, because you tried teaching them.
I tried.
A lot of people do. A lot of people don't understand. Before the show, you were like, Andy, you need to do this. You need to do that. Andy, let me show you how to do this. And then he's like, James, I didn't pay you for that.
Yep.
I paid you just to teach me what you taught me last week.
Yep.
And it cost him.
It sure did.
But that happens, though. Sometimes you get a big head and you don't want to pay the guy to help train you.
Yep.
That's what happens. But I see great things with this Bullpen Pro Wrestling because 3 shows now. When that third show does happen, I can't wait to go there. That's May 11th.
Yep.
And that's going to be a hell of a time.
It sure is.
Do you already know who the matches are?
The returning champion, Donovan Dijak.
Hell yeah. Dijak.
He is going to against Donovan's the mammoth,
Yeah.
Donovan Cecil.
Yep, I know the man.
We got TNA stars coming in. I think Steph D-Lander's coming in. I don't know if she's wrestling or doing anything. She might just be doing a signing.
That's big, though, because that shows that she's willing to come and do that for Bullpen Pro Wrestling.
Zaya's the champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Zaya Brookside from TNA. She's going to be
Nice.
She's going against Noelle.
That's going to be a hell of a match.
That's depending on what happens with Hooligan, though, the day before.
The night before.
Oh, you're right.
They're doing a show at Hooligan, and whoever wins that is defending the title or going for the title. Let's see. One second, let me get the card.
That's true. You got to always look at the card. But also remember, card is always subject to change as well.
Yep.
You never know what's going to happen on the card.
They got advertised Ethan Heyer versus Gaston LaRue.
That's going to be a good one. I saw their banger at EWA.
Let's see. Kevo Thrives is going to be there.
Good wrestler.
Miss Larkin's going to be there.
Hell yeah. Another great one.
And she's defending, or she'll have her title, too.
Yeah, she'll have her title. Berto was supposed to be there.
Hell yeah, Berto, you the man.
Yeah, the card's stacked. It's just stacked top to bottom. You got young up-and-coming talent. You got talent that is, from major companies or from former major companies.
Exactly.
You got old veterans there. Just
Always gotta have the veterans.
we're just all gonna be there, just having a good old time.
That's why people gotta go out there and check out Bullpen Pro Wrestling. Because you never know. Bullpen Pro Wrestling just might be the next top promotion around the Kentuckiana area.
It might be.
Because think about it. You already got a stacked card right now. You got Donovan Dijak that's going to be there. And Donovan, he's been on the road.
I wrestled Dijak on the first show.
Yep. That's awesome. And then you also got Steph DeLander's come there. Whether it be a signing or she's going to be wrestling. Yep. Who knows? But you got a stacked card besides it because you got veterans. You got Zia Brookside. You got so many names, like even higher versus Gaston Rue. That right there should be worth the price of admission because their banger EWA in an Iron Man. I think it was an Iron Man match. They fought each other. That's a banger.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be reprising again here in 2025. Bullpen Pro Wrestling, May 11th. That's worth the price.
It is. I mean, the ticket prices are very reasonable.
Plus, they have the special with the signing.
They do have a special going
Heck
on.
yeah.
Let me roll it up here. So, for front row seats, this is a package deal.
Yeah.
A signed 8x10 by Miss Larkin. A signed 8x10 by Carter Kaufman.
Heck yeah.
A signed 8x10 from former WWE superstar Caroline Fruz, Emma Diaz.
Nice.
Signed 8x10 by the TNA Digital Media Champion, Steph DeLander. And a photo with Steph DeLander for $50.
That ain't bad at all.
No, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a photo op. So that's 5 photos and a front row seat for $50. Can't beat it.
Yeah, you can't beat that. That's a great price for anyone that wants that because you're going to be getting 5 photos. And that's going to be something that I think a lot of people should do.
Yeah.
Because if they want that, that's a good price. $50, you can't beat that.
Yeah. That's a steal.
Exactly. That's a deal and a steal if I ever heard one. Like a lot of people should be checking that out because just hearing those names that you mentioned that you'll be getting that signed 8x10s from, that should be worth it. And plus, getting a photo op with one of them,
Yep.
that's even more better to have.
Yeah.
I think that if you guys that's at home right now listening, if you want a good show to go to, May 11th, Bullpen Pro Wrestling is a show to go to because that's a good deal to have. $50 and you get 5 photos.
Yeah.
Man.
And front row seat.
Exactly. And then also a photo op.
Yep.
That's also a good steal. Y'all need to hop onto that because I'm telling you, tickets will go by fast.
Yep. Lasso showed out.
Exactly, and that's a guaranteed to happen this time too. Hell, I believe that Bullpen Pro Wrestling could sell out any arena, just from what they do.
Yeah,
That's a good wrestling name. That's a good logo that y'all got going on as well. Like when I saw it, I thought, yeah, that's a professional wrestling promotion right there. It looked like it. It has the style. It has the grace. I even saw the card pictures that y'all have as well. Mm-hmm. That's phenomenal. If the fans want to see great wrestling, they know where it's at because Bullpen Pro Wrestling, it's on Facebook. You can go find them. You can go follow them. I guarantee you won't be disappointed when you see the matches that's going to be happening May 11th. You won't be disappointed if you're one of those guys that decides to pay $50 to get 5 photos, front row seats, and a photo op. You can't beat that.
No.
That's professional wrestling right there. If I was one of them, I'd be hopping on that chance right now. I'd be saying, give me those tickets. I'm willing to pay that $50 so I can have those 5 photos plus that picture plus that front row.
Yep.
You're doing great work. Because they need someone like you.
We're trying.
Exactly. But they need someone like you because you got the experience.
Yep.
And if they listen, and they continue to listen, I guarantee you that Bullpen Pro Wrestling could be just as good as any other promotion that's been around Kentucky. Because from the sounds of it, it sounds like they're trying to do everything right.
They are.
They're not trying to be like one of those promotions that comes in and just thinks, oh, I'm going to start my own promotion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing with Gabriel and Neil, we're not doing shows every month. You know, they're going smart about it. They're doing shows once every 3 months, you know. I mean, some of these guys are not cheap, and some of the buildings aren't cheap.
That's true.
So, you know, you got to build up. I mean, yeah, they do have sponsors. That was the first thing that they told me, that they got sponsors.
Yeah.
Great. But, you know, I'm helping them out with a working relationship with another wrestling company out in Nebo, Kentucky.
That's awesome.
You know, it gives best of 2 states working together. You know, that way, you know, it's a working relationship, which all companies need to have that type of working relationship. It's, I'm out there trying to, you know, close that company. You know, I can outdraw them.
That mentality ruins wrestling.
You know, it's 2025, guys. Grow up.
Exactly. This ain't like WWF back then, because back then you had one guy and his vision was, I'm just going to kill every other company and just make my company be the big dog.
Yeah.
This is 2025. This ain't that time, because you kill every other company, then you kill professional wrestling.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that. There's a lot of too many people that would prefer, oh, look, speaking of the devil, Ellie Albright is watching.
Oh, yeah?
Hi,
Yep.
Allie.
I just saw her. That's your bestie.
Yep.
Yep.
But it's the truth. If every company works together, wrestling thrives. If every company decides, oh, fuck those guys, I'm going to destroy the company, then wrestling dies. I've always thought to myself, wrestling needs to be able to work together. Because if you have the mentality where you think, oh, those guys going to fuck me over, those guys are vice versa are saying, oh, these guys going to fuck me over, then you're basically killing each other's momentum because you've decided, oh, these guys going to kill me.
Yeah.
That ain't how it should be.
Yeah. I mean,
It's 2025.
90% of the workers in this area, they all work for the same company or have worked for the same company.
Exactly.
You can't just say, oh, no, you're exclusive to here.
Yeah.
They run 10 miles down the road. You can't go over there.
Exactly.
I'm a 1099. I will work wherever I want to.
Exactly. Because that's the way it's supposed to be. Because I've never understood the mentality where they think that wrestlers should only work for their company and screw all the other companies.
Yeah.
Because that's taken away from the wrestler.
Yeah.
If you're someone that's so conceited that you're going to think it's all about me, but the wrestlers can't go make their money, then you're basically saying, fuck these wrestlers, they're just contractors that's going to work for me as slaves.
Yep.
That's not how it should be.
Mm-mm.
Let the wrestlers go and work for all the companies and work together to build something special, especially here in Kentucky.
Yeah. I mean, you have to go away to be able to come back.
Exactly. Because if you're always there, the fans start to grow stale of you.
Yep.
They won't like you no more. But if you keep going from city to city, state to state, different wrestling promotions, then when you come back to the ones that you've been working for, before the fans start to show you love because they ain't seen you in a while.
Yep.
But if you're working same place, then the fans gonna be like,
Yep.
I've seen this person already.
Yep. Same song and dance.
Exactly. That's why I think that 2025 wrestling companies should be open to working together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
look, I mean, think about it. TCW, UCW, Appalachian Mountain Wrestling work together. So why can't all other companies work together?
Yeah. I mean, don't just single it groups out. You know.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
Because, you know, some not all wrestling companies in Kentucky are everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah,
You know, you might have a knockoff Sting over there doing something. You know.
yeah,
Well, that guy, okay, he could probably still go.
exactly.
You got Joe Schmo over there. He'll be good over there at that company.
Exactly.
You know, we're all trying to make a little money in wrestling.
Exactly. And if you're not trying to make money, then why are you here? Because you can't be one of those guys that just be like, I'm here just to please the fans. Because it's not just about pleasing the fans. You want to make the money as well.
Yeah, I mean, my main priority with wrestling is the fans.
That's right.
That's first and foremost. Because you know what? I was a fan.
That's right.
You know, that's a connection. That's an outlet
Yep.
that I went to. Now, the fans, that's their outlet. They're going to spend their hard-earned money to come see Superfly Johnny Lee kick the crap out of Andy.
That's right.
You know?
Which was true because good guy versus bad guy.
Yeah.
It's the oldest story in time.
Yes. You know?
The fans will always come first
Yeah.
compared to everything.
Yeah. You know, if I do a good enough job to either make those fans hate me,
Yeah.
or have them have sympathy for me because I'm getting the crap kicked out of me,
Yeah.
I'm doing my job.
Exactly.
I'm tapping into their emotions.
Just like a thespian play.
Yep.
Because that's the point. The fans come to watch wrestling to take a moment out of their, either it's a bad life or busy time.
Yep.
They get to invest in you as a wrestler.
Yep.
Either you're a bad guy or a good guy. If they're cheering, that's good. If they're hating, that's good as well.
Yeah.
Because emotion in wrestling is very crucial to what makes wrestling.
Wrestling is just like any soap opera or any movie or TV series. You're going to get attached to certain characters and you're going to just go straight for it.
Exactly. And you were talking about companies work together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a company here in Kentucky, from Carrollton, Kentucky, that's willing to work with other companies.
Yeah.
Pro Wrestling Alliance. They also have Ali Albright. They've also had Nick Ultima, TJ Fury, even higher,
Yeah.
Dustin Barnsworth as well. I think that you guys could work together too,
Yeah.
because that's what it's all about.
Yeah. I mean, Gabriel and Neil, they're open to working with other companies.
That's right.
They're not against it. You know, if it's gonna help them in a long run, you know, learning, then they're for it.
Leon Lexington said, I think wrestling is better than any other media because of the fact it's never ending and evolving.
Yep.
And that's right. He's right about that. Wrestling is never ending and it evolves.
Yep.
And no matter what people say, wrestling is the greatest form of sport that there is. Because nowhere in any other sport can a fan interact with the wrestlers like that.
Yep.
Because if they interact with footballers or basketball players or baseball players, you're not going to get the same emotion.
No, you're not. I mean, I've been to football games, I've been to basketball games, I've been to hockey games. You can, in hockey, you can kind of tap into that.
Yeah.
But, you know, the NFL, NBA, you can't really tap into it. I mean, you can to a certain extent. You know, you don't feel their emotions out on the field.
Yeah.
In wrestling, you're not physically feeling their emotions, but you can feel the emotions.
Exactly. You can see it on their face and tap into that.
Yeah.
That's the difference between wrestling and other sports.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you can feel what the wrestler is feeling. If the wrestler is in pain, you're going to feel it. If the wrestler is trying to get that championship opportunity, he's only got that one shot, one chance to do it. You're going to be feeling that too. I mean, look at Kofi Mania.
Yep.
When fans thought that Kofi had no chance in hell to do it, and the Usos were like, we out Us, because it was up to Xavier Woods and Big E to be the ones to get Kofi Kingston to that WWE Championship title match. When the Usos said, we out, the fans blew up.
Yep.
Because they were latched onto that story. Mm-hmm. They felt that emotion, the will to want to be champion.
Yep.
That's professional wrestling to me. Professional wrestling is art. There's
It
nothing
is.
like it.
It is.
Just like with photography. You said that you've been on iHeartRadio before?
I was on iHeartRadio as an advocate for Sam, my oldest son.
Nice.
So I was doing I had switched him over to Cincinnati Children's from Norton's. And so they brought me on as how it felt to be such a big advocate for him. Because it was a big deal then.
Yeah.
So,
And that's awesome because that's very special. And that's awesome to hear. Because whenever I brought y'all here, I didn't realize that you had been on iHeartRadio. I know all about iHeartRadio from years and years.
Yeah, it was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was like, it was national. It was a national thing.
Yeah.
So, but I wasn't like video. It was just, I was like sitting on my bed. I was telling my best friend, I was like sitting on my bed shaking because I was on a national, like a psychologist was on there and like another parent. Unfortunately, his daughter had passed away.
Yeah.
But he was like he goes around and speaks. He still does about advocacy because he tried to advocate for his daughter so much. It just wasn't. It was it didn't end it the way that he wanted, but he had to advocate a lot, and I had a lot of flack in his treatment, and so I had to do a lot. I had to speak up a lot, and throughout the years, I've had to stand up, and if it wasn't for me on a couple of instances, like Sam probably wouldn't be here on a couple things that I've had to stand up to doctors about.
Yeah.
So it's been a really long road with him.
Exactly.
So that's what I was on there for.
It's sometimes like that with doctors, though. They'll tell you something about this, something about that, and then you're like, I don't think that's right.
Yeah.
And it's truth. Because my mom recently suffered a broken ankle, but they told her it was a fracture.
Yeah.
But the surgeon who checked her out just a couple days ago found that her leg was broken in 3 places. There's the difference between doctors and surgeons, because doctors clearly don't know what the hell they're talking about. They'll tell you that you're there for a fracture, but really, you got a broken arm. They're telling you that it's a fracture and you're in pain, and they don't care.
Yeah. It's really hard, especially now. I mean, even more now than it was even then. But you really just have to speak up for yourself.
Yeah, you do, because if you don't, then doctors take advantage.
But
that's the way I think about it.
When you have a kid, you really have to go with what you feel, in certain point, because like they can't speak for themselves, until a certain point.
Exactly.
And so that's where you have to learn to speak up for them.
Exactly, because my sister Elizabeth suffered from grandma's seizures. And it's very tough to watch someone you love end up inside a hospital bed and watching them grow, but they can't grow normally.
Yeah.
Because they're confined to that bed.
Yeah.
So I know how it feels. They have doctors try to tell you something when you feel like inside your instincts that that's not right.
Yeah.
And they're trying to tell you, yeah, we got it right. We want you to do this, yada, yada, yada. And you're like, I don't think that you're telling me the truth. But that's how doctors are.
Yeah.
They try to tell you, I know more than you, just because they have medical profession.
Yeah.
But then it turns out that's not true at all.
The whole reason why I started wrestling was that, wrestling stuff was because of that. So my youngest son, Sam, was in the hospital, and he had a seizure, and he wasn't supposed to have a seizure. We were having a day, and we were supposed to have a whole day together at Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And he had an iron overload from his bone marrow transplant.
Yeah.
And so they were pulling off iron, and he had a really bad seizure, and he coded. And my other, Jack, was in the room, and he was really little. And we were going to bag, and me and the nurse was going to go bag him together. And they were having to take Jack out of the room. And all Jack saw was, like, the line go on the screen. And so for, like, 15 minutes, Jack thought that Sam had died. And
man.
So he started, like, throwing up, like, projectile vomiting and stuff in the, anytime we went to the movies or, like, any kind of, like, shows. And so, like, that's whenever he suggested, we were talking about it and everything, he suggested to go to an outdoor wrestling show. And so just so happened to have the fair that week, and it was 2019. And it was OVW's and it was UCW's. So we went to both, because he ended up loving the first one, and he couldn't get enough of it. So I ended up having to go to the fair both nights.
Nice.
Yeah. So we ended up meeting Al Snow, and we ended up meeting Vic.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and, like, he just could not stop talking about Vic and Al Snow. And the only picture I got with Al Snow was poopy faces. And so, like, he made us do poopy faces. And that's, like, forever on my timeline.
That's right.
And so after that, we started going to OVW, and then, like I said, then we went and took pictures, and then that was about it after that. And so Jack was hooked. And
Heck
it was
yeah.
just like, then Sam wanted to go, and it was like the one place they could be themselves. And that was like when Jack actually conquered his fear of being in closed places, and he could be himself.
Yeah.
And wrestling's helped him overcome all of that. And so, and I saw that, and that's what made me fall in love with wrestling, is that it really helped. If you look out, especially at OVW or most anywhere you go, there's always, special needs there. And, and it's because they can actually be themselves.
Exactly.
They can yell, and they can scream, and they can, they could just be them without being stared at or anything like that. They can just be them. And that's what made me fall in love with it, is because my boys could be them.
Exactly. That's professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Professional wrestling is the only place that can bring everyone together. I've always said this. It's the only medium where everyone from any walk of life can just come together for one night only and be themselves, because you not got anyone trying to judge you. You ain't got anyone trying to tell you what to do, tell you what you can't do. You're there to enjoy yourself, and that's what professional wrestling wants to do for you.
Yep.
And that's why I invest a lot in professional wrestling. Because unlike Andy and them, I watch wrestling every day. Raw, SmackDown. Even when I don't like AEW, I still give it a try, and I watch it, and I try to want it to be great. And speaking of the devil, Billy Starks just showed up on our TV. Billy Starks, for those that don't know, is a Grindhouse Pro Wrestling Academy alumni. And she's doing her thing in Ring of Honor. But if it was up to me, she'd be doing her thing on Dynamite and winning the AEW Women's Championship from Mercedes Moné. Oh, wait. No, Mercedes is the TBS champion.
Yep.
So I'll just skip her right to the AEW Women's title. Tony Storm, your number is hers. But we all can't be beggars. We gotta wait and see.
Yep.
But that's the difference. Wrestling is the only place where people can come together.
Yeah.
And whether you love it, whether you hate it, all people are allowed to come and enjoy wrestling. You can boo, you can hate, you can tear it apart. Just remember that you're there to love wrestling. Because that's friendship. And Leon said, it's definitely a safe place for all walks of life. That's right, Leon, it is. Every person that loves professional wrestling is invited to come there because it's the safest space. And I think we got Andy here.
Oh, superstar show up?
The man that you trained, he paid you only a few bucks.
He tried to get away with a hot dog and a handshake.
And the hot dog wasn't even a hot dog.
No,
it was half a hot dog.
Yeah.
Who's to say that wasn't a stale one?
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't eat it.
Yeah.
He said I had a hot dog.
We finally got nice guy here.
I'm sorry, guys. I do have a day job I have to be at sometimes.
He does.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Good, you?
They're telling us about the Bullpen Pro Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Leon Lexington was here, Andy.
He was here? Oh,
Inside chat, he
in
said
chat.
he's definitely invested.
Invested in what?
Professional wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Who ain't?
Exactly.
It's our whole lives, ain't it?
Yeah. That's why I watch Raw, NXT, AEW, SmackDown, and the independent professional wrestling as well. A lot of people don't understand. To me, independent professional wrestling is the new territories.
Yep.
People say territories are dead, but the truth is the territories have not died.
I think it's not.
It's just that they don't go by territory.
Yeah. I think there is kind of territories now, ain't there?
Yeah, like AIWF.
Yeah. I think it's like the small independents are building like their own little territory, and there's like the other promotions are like, oh, okay, he's running out of down there, so I'm going to run out of over here, and where nobody's running, and it's kind of like I guess it's unspoken, but I guess they probably do talk, don't they? Promoters.
Some do.
You guys are in New Albany, right?
Yes. We don't have the exact date yet, but we are going to do a show in Louisville.
Oh, in the city of Louisville.
Yeah.
That's going to be great.
Like I was saying earlier, I kind of have set up a working relationship with the company that I wrestle out in Nebo, Kentucky. And
there's so many little promotions everywhere. It's hard to keep up with all of them.
Yeah, so I got kind of doing a working relationship with Bullpen. So they can see talent from all over. And,
yeah, I mean, it's cool to like work with other promotions.
Yeah.
I think everybody should. I think like Terry and them all work together. And those Appalachian Mountain Wrestling and
yes, right.
EWA and all those guys work together. I mean, why not? I mean, UCW. Why not work with people that know what they're doing? I mean,
especially in 2025,
they're all sharing talent anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you talk to this promoter and this promoter, hey, I'm doing this here and I'm doing this here. Will you not do that? You go a different direction, or hey, I'm doing this. Maybe go in the same kind of storyline direction as we're going. Like don't make my baby heel down there where you're at.
Yeah.
Because that kind of stuff. How you like being up north there more? You like being up north more, or?
Well, there's no athletic commission up there, so
yeah.
We have a little bit more free reign.
Yeah, y'all can do pretty much what do you want to, right?
In a sense, I mean, we still try to run a family friendly.
Yeah,
that's right.
Oh yeah. I'm talking about like maybe just doing more gimmick matches and more people don't have to, like I guess I guess you want to train somebody, but like I guess anybody can get in the ring up there, right? Like you see me
in a sense, yeah.
You see me and Johnny get in the ring, down in Tennessee. So
I mean,
I say we did a lot better.
Some guys, some of the guys that are on the roster, they're training at Grindhouse.
Yeah.
So it's a way for them to not just be in the arena, but venture out a little bit.
And deal with different promoters because, like, you're not going to just deal with the same guys that are teaching you.
Yeah.
And being a promoter, they might be a little nicer to you. They might ask you to do a certain thing that you've been training to do, and you're going to go to another promotion. They'll ask you to do something totally different. And you're like, oh, that's cool. I've learned something totally different doing this over here.
Yeah. I mean, Gabriel and Neil, they have a little agreement with Ronnie,
Yeah.
If I send you Babyface, keep Babyface.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they're like, all for it. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like Ali.
And they should all work together. I mean, all the wrestlers work together. Like, why shouldn't the promoters not work together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about teamwork.
I think, isn't J.R. Rock getting into
promotion?
Yep.
I think he's
promotion?
Kentucky Wrestling Federation, which they'll be talking about next week.
I guess we'll ask him next week, but I don't even know what territory he's going to be in. I don't even know what city he's going to be in.
No
He's in Kentucky.
I know
That's
he's going to be in
all we know for
Kentucky.
now.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he'll work with all those guys. They all love him. Everybody loves J.R. Rock.
Yeah.
He's such a badass.
And if they don't love him, he'll take a strap to him.
Exactly.
Like he did.
You've been in the
Stan
ring with J.R.?
I have.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot.
I like Jr. He's a character, man. I really like him. He's that smart guy.
Yeah.
He's wrote like 3 books, I think.
Yep.
Did you know that? He's wrote like 3 books.
I know he's writing one.
I know he's writing one now, but I think he's wrote like 2 other ones already. I think.
Yeah, I have no
I
idea.
think so. I mean, I might be wrong about the numbers, but I know he has at least 2 more books somewhere.
He's done 2 documentaries as well.
I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I saw one of those.
Yeah,
I
he's-
watched that one.
Yeah, he's a book writer too. Yeah,
He's
Otherwise
so
known
quiet.
as Gargman.
he is. He's a quiet guy. He is. He's just that sit back and think kind of guy. I think.
Until he's riled up.
Yeah,
He beat up a random guy that was inside the studio just a couple weeks ago. Oh, well, not random. His
I'm
name's Chris
very
Norton.
interested to see what his promotion is going to be like. He
Yeah.
he texted me the other day, and I guess I was one of the first people he told. I guess, and he said he wanted us to be the podcast to be involved in it. I'm like, well, that's we're involved with all wrestling, so we want to be involved with everybody.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, we was involved with EWA when it first started. We helped push it and promote it a lot.
We also helped set up the ring.
You know how big those guys, Appalachian Mountain and EWA and UCW and all are.
Yeah.
We love those guys. They all invite us to come to their shows, and we were interested in seeing Bullpen too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We can let you know. The official announcement about the May 11th will be tomorrow.
It's going to be on May 11th.
Yeah, well, it's May 11th, but Gabriel's announcing the actual venue tomorrow,
Oh, okay.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
I'll be checking that out.
and then y'all have more information
So
about.
who do y'all know? Like what wrestlers are going to be wrestling? Mainly,
Yeah.
mainly guys from up north there.
Donovan Dijak is going to be defending the
Oh,
bullpen
wow.
title against Donovan Cecil from OVW.
A.K.A. Mammoth.
So Dijak's a big name. That's a WWE guy, right?
Yeah, I wrestled him on the
You know-
first show.
Oh, okay.
You know who the other guy is? Donovan Cecil.
I don't.
The Mammoth.
He's OVW's Mammoth. Remember, we've seen him several times.
Okay, the big guy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It'll
Okay.
be Donovan versus Donovan.
He's a badass too.
Yeah.
Is he
That's
still?
right.
Is he still with OVW?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody said that they got
Tuscan
bought.
Fang.
They just got bought by a big
Yep,
company.
they
right?
did.
They did a
soccer
soccer.
By
company.
other people.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. What do y'all think about that?
I mean, hopefully
Hopefully, Al will be.
does a little bit better.
Is Al going to be involved still? I think.
They said that he would still be there,
Okay. Cool.
that he would maintain his position.
That's cool because he's doing
I'm not
very
going
good and
to
creative
rattle him.
there.
He just took over for Matt Jones.
Yeah.
His
Oh.
position.
He took the owners took Matt Jones' position.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know why? You know why? Because like Chuck E. Smooth said, he kind of figured that Mr. Matt Jones wouldn't stick around because he wasn't making enough money.
Oh.
Even though OVW is making
Man,
good
that
money.
dude, like you can say whatever you want to say about that guy, but he came, right in Kentucky Sports Radio came in, took over that kind of big thing, made that thing huge, sold that, and then still does it and has that restaurant over there, and they still do the podcast out. Like he's big guy. He's a big name. I respect that guy. I mean, everybody might not like him, but
He don't respect us though. We tried to get him onto the
I've
show
talked to him
twice.
a couple times. He's been nice. He's been nice.
That's only because you talk to him, Andy. But if you try to give him to the show, he'll tell you.
Well, he's more famous than us. He's not going to come on our rinky-dink bullshit podcast.
We've had other more famous people than us, and they've been on the show.
Well, hopefully,
I mean, look, more famous wrestler right there.
I know. You can't get no more famous than this guy. He trained me how to wrestle.
You should have paid him more to get trained better.
I should have listened more. That's what I should have done. I don't know if that's a good thing for you to be my trainer or not.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That was crash training.
Yeah, crash course.
One like 5-minute training. Don't do
That's
this,
right.
do this, don't do that, and we'll be okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
He got you plungered.
Yeah. Taught me how to cheat.
Yeah, he always does. But he didn't teach you how to
So
cheat-
how was it?
cheat
How was it
enough.
wrestling Dijak? I mean, that's a pretty big like.
Yeah,
he's
that was the biggest name I've wrestled so
really,
far.
really,
Yes.
yeah. And you've been in this game 20 years, ain't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
I always love watching you wrestle, man. I mean, I do. I always like this guy knows what he's doing.
He started out backyard wrestling.
I did.
Yeah, cool.
I wrestling Dijak. At first, I had the butterflies.
I bet. Yeah.
And once I met him and everything, and was like, all right, let's go do this. And of course, the ring situation, it wasn't the greatest.
Oh, the ring. Yeah.
It was 6-sided ring.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Is that a bullpen?
yeah, it was at Bullpen.
Bullpen has a 6-sided ring.
Not no more.
No.
That was just a one-time deal.
Really?
But the match was good. Got whatever we wanted to get out of it.
Yeah.
Got that done. We were supposed to be the main event, but his flight was leaving at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, so you had to do it early.
So we were like what third, fourth match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you should just started the whole show.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should have did it first.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't have bothered me first.
No,
last,
first is
middle.
like first is a good that if you got a really good match first that gets everybody excited, gets everybody hyped up, and then everybody wants to wait for that. Then you put a really good match in the middle, and then you put a really great match at the end, and I think that's great.
Yeah,
If you're not first, you're last.
I think the first match is the most important match. on the
That's
card.
one thing that about
Me too.
OVW that I don't agree with sometimes is they don't start their pay-per-views out with a good match sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I have to say about OVW that I don't like about what they do is sometimes they don't start most of the time they start their pay-per-views out with somebody you don't even know. I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to know what feel like I know what I'm talking about, but I know what fans want. I think I mean I'm just a fan. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to run their promotion or anything. Me and Johnny just go in there and we take clips of what we like, and we go through and take our
We
clips
also
and
try to promote.
post the clips and let everybody look at the
My only gripe is
look at
that
the wrestlers.
at the first pay-per-view that we got to watch, our Revolution, OVW,
OVW.
it decided to end on an unsanctioned match that had such poor camera quality that
Yeah, they did a outside match when it was dark.
Yeah.
And they tried to do headlights, which, if you do it right, you gotta, you get a good match that way. But I mean, whoever those other matches that have been done like that, I can't remember, but on WWE, I think WWE or somebody, WCW done one
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Dave Taylor,
WES.
Dave Taylor versus
Yeah.
William Regal.
But they had other lights,
Yeah.
and the camera. What people don't understand about cameras is cameras don't, and this, you're a photographer, cameras do not work without light. Yeah. You have to have light. If you don't have a light, especially a video camera. You need a lot of light because a digital video camera needs a lot of light, and
Otherwise, it becomes pixelated.
and
Bad.
if it was me, I would have done that match first.
Yeah.
I mean, and then that way you had the whole pay-per-view to these guys to go back to these guys fighting somewhere outside, somewhere inside, and then at the end, because bring it into the ring and finish it in the ring at the end. Like you had the whole time to like. That was just one thing about that OVW pay-per-view that I watched that we watched together here.
The main event should have been the one that came before, because putting the unsanctioned match as the final match, it didn't make sense, because now that's the thing that's in your pay-per-view after it started out so hot. And it being pixelated like it was, the viewers at home couldn't see what was going on.
Yeah.
That first half of the unsanctioned match felt like.
I mean, and I don't think it was the promoter's fault about the cameras not working. And, the cameraman, whoever the cameraman or the director of the cameras, whoever the director was, the cameraman should have said, "Hey, these cameras aren't going to work at night. We have to do something different."
Yeah.
Well, now Al Snow's going to want to kick our ass.
Yeah, Al Snow's probably going to kick my ass, but
because he's the director.
He's great though. He really is. He's took OVW, brung it back to prominence. Which has the name now. I mean, it had a great name and then it fell off for a little while, and now it's like back up, and which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bullpen is how long y'all been running? How many matches y'all have done? One promotion so far?
May 11th will be
the first one,
the third show.
Oh, the third show. Okay.
Yeah. He doesn't want to run every month, which is understandable.
Yeah. No.
Yep.
So he does once every 3 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't want to burn everybody out.
Yeah.
So, maybe after a while, he might do.
Probably burn himself out too.
Yeah, maybe after a while he'll do.
But it's hard to keep people keep people interested as far as like your help.
Yeah.
Like to do the promotion. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, we're going to do a promotion. Let's all get together and do this, and then wait for 3 months, and it's like, they get people and other wrestlers and other things get more opportunities to do other things, and then you get forgot about.
Yeah.
If you wait for 3 months, I think. I mean, if you do it every month, then you got that person constantly there thinking, "Hey, I'm going to make this whatever you get paid. I'm going to make this amount of money that month." But if I have to wait 3 months to get that, then I might. Which somebody might talk to him about that, because it's like you can forget about a lot of things in 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, some of the shows that he's been doing. Like the first show was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And, that gave time for like Lexi Green. She had a show later on that night.
Yeah.
So
he's doing stuff in the daytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
Like.
Is he going to do YouTube? Does he have a Facebook and stuff like that?
They got a Facebook. I don't know if they're streaming anything through the Facebook.
Yeah.
But I think they are going to put their stuff on YouTube.
I think what I suggest for somebody that's coming up with a new promotion like that is like your first few shows, get a lot of content.
Yeah.
Get a digital content. Get a lot of even if you're doing it with iPhones, which me and Johnny do a lot of things with iPhones. Which iPhones are great. They're perfect. They're perfect. They got a great camera. They got a great. They got a great microphone. Dude, I can catch things said in the ring on my iPhone that I don't think other people can catch on those regular video cameras, and go straight up and down with everything. And that way, when you go to YouTube, you can do shorts, you can do TikTok, and you can do Facebook Reels.
Yeah.
And even Facebook, like the regular content, you can go straight up and down with stuff, and just get so much footage and just post and post and post and post. That way people won't forget about you when you're gone for 3 months.
Yeah.
Just don't catch the wrestlers calling their spots.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, you can. Yeah, that happens sometimes. But the way I think we're more geared. Well, a lot of fans like us too, but a lot of wrestlers watch us. So, you know, I don't think it bothers the wrestlers as much. You know, they watch and they see and they critique the spots and, you know, and they're like, oh, okay. And if, and to me, if I'm a wrestler and I catch another wrestler on video calling out a spot, I'm going to learn something from that because I'm going to learn, hey, there's always a camera around, and watch what you're saying in front of the camera. Watch where the cameras are. I mean, I know you in the ring, you got to be aware of where everybody is, but you got to where the fans are and where the camera people are too.
That's right.
Because you don't really want to give up your positions and give up the back end of wrestling.
The secrets.
The secrets, but like, be aware that there's always cameras around nowadays. It's like, I mean, I'm a UPS driver, and I'm out there, and they tell us that there's cameras everywhere. Don't throw a package, or like, which we don't do anyway. But there's guys that have been caught doing that. Don't throw a package. Don't kick nobody's dog. Don't put your turn signals on, because there's always somebody.
Yes,
The other day I was delivering a package, and I don't know. I was blocking the street, and there was a woman just video cameraing me. I'm like, okay, like, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just blocking the street a little bit because, and then because I gotta deliver this package. So I think I think people learn from a lot of the video stuff that we post. Even the stuff that's like, even the mess ups, because if like you mess up if you're doing a wrestling move and you mess it up, that you can go back and look at that tape and, hey, I did that wrong. I won't do that wrong the next time.
The tapes.
Yeah. I think a lot of people should but a lot of wrestlers don't have the opportunity. You have a video, a photographer follow you all the time. I'm sure you got a lot of video or a lot of pictures of you and to critique and stuff. But not a lot of people, not a lot of these wrestlers. Some of these wrestlers go to these shows by themselves and don't have anybody. Like Icon Lee's was our champion. He lost the belt to Marty Clay. We got a brand new champion, great guy. He's going to show the kids the belt already.
That's why he's done this to me.
Yeah. Well, Icon, don't have anybody to follow him around. So he does a lot of his own stuff. He does a lot of his own content. And whenever we're at a show with him, where he's like, "Here, video for me," and so
he's hated by so many, and yet they don't understand that he's doing things that they should be trying to do, because they don't understand that they write off.
I feel like a lot of people, a lot of the wrestlers are going to be doing what he's doing in the next coming future, because everything's going to content.
Yeah.
But that will also.
I think we could do a promotion without having an audience, and just do a social media promotion, like a social media wrestling promotion, and have like, without having an audience, and put it on social media and probably draw more people. Really.
Yeah.
Well, I love audiences.
Oh, I do. I think the best way to have is wrestling an audience, because like I always compare it to a stand-up comedian. Because if I can sit there and tell that mirror jokes all I want, and I may laugh, but if I get up on stage and tell jokes, I really know if my comedy's funny or not.
Yeah.
And that's why if a wrestler can sit in the ring in a warehouse and just do all kinds of stuff, and the other wrestlers are like, hey, yeah, you did great, but if you go out there in front of that audience, you got to do it in front of a live audience, even if it's just 12, 13 people or 30 people or 40 people. But like, we go to these promotions and there's a lot of people at these promotions now. Like like when we first started doing this, we go to the promotion, there'd be like 30 people there. Like now when we go to watch a show, there's hundreds.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know if it's WWE, AEW, but like more people are starting to come out to wrestling matches. Don't you see? Don't you think that? Yeah.
That's because right now is the perfect time to be a professional wrestling fan.
I mean, like when I first started going to Nebo at NAW, they were having maybe 30 people.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, it's what? 110?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. That's good.
It's a small venue.
Yeah.
but they got the building for cheap.
Yeah.
Real quick, Nick Gage's wife just died.
Oh,
Nick Gage's wife from GCW. Nick Gage.
Okay.
The guy that got pizza cutted by Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
His wife just passed away.
Wow.
Shout out to Nick Gage. R.I.P. to his wife.
Yeah.
Leon Lexington let us know.
Let's look into that more.
But there's truth. Professional wrestling in 2025. If you're a fan of wrestling, now's the time to be it, because the wrestling is a hotbed again.
yes.
Because now you got so much going on in the independent scene, on TV, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of professional wrestling. Like I said, it is art. It is the greatest medium that there is ever known to wrestling fans.
I mean, you get wrestling pretty much every night of the week.
That's right. And no sport comes close to professional wrestling. No matter what anyone says. Because you can be a basketball player, but you can step inside that ring and you fail 99%. Because you don't understand that being inside that ring and being outside of the ring are two different things.
Well, there was 2 basketball players that did all right.
Yeah.
Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman.
That's because they got training. They're willing.
Well, they're both natural athletes.
Yeah.
So, and what about Logan Paul?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
that dude's incredible. And then, you have Bad Bunny is incredible. They're incredible wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. And I admit that I was one of the ones that did not like Logan Paul. But damn, if I don't, I have to respect his ability inside the ring.
He is a very good athlete.
I haven't seen anything about. I can't find anything about that. His wife passing away, Johnny. So
It's Leon Lexington that said it.
I know, but we got to watch what we say.
Leon Lexington.
We got to check it though.
You need to verify this.
We got to check things before we say it on the podcast.
Well,
we do not know that is true or not. Not yet.
our boy Leon Lexington does
I
Jimmy
know,
wrong.
but we
man.
got to check things before we announce stuff like that. I can't find it anywhere on the internet, so.
I will look for it. Because if Leon Lexington's saying it, I have to take his word for it, because
No, you
he's
don't.
never
You have to
steered us wrong.
You got to check the facts first. So you been taking any pictures anywhere?
I do at Bullpen and I do at Null.
Yeah.
And then I just do all the time whenever anybody needs me in general.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing I don't do is weddings usually because of my son.
Yeah.
Because I
You
just,
probably have 1 million wrestling pictures, don't you?
yeah. Yeah. 'cause
Well, if you need anywhere to post them, you can post them on our page if you want.
Oh, I have folders of mine.
Yeah.
So, it's in there. And I just usually post them in there. But usually, I keep drives and everything because,
Yeah.
I take about, around 6,000 at least a show
Yeah.
because I'm just that way.
Oh yeah, yeah. We do that same thing. We I don't think we're making 6,000 videos, but probably a couple hundred videos of a whole promotion night. And down at UCW, I think I took probably 200 little small clips. 1 minute clips. Then you can turn those 1 minute clips into 2 or 3 clips. This is like a lot of content.
Yes,
You can get a lot of content.
I've been Nall's photographer steady, except for when we have different shows or whatever on the same day, since 2021, straight through.
Yeah.
I'm their only photographer.
So they've been around since 2000. What?
Oh, they've been around for a long time.
No, has?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been around for quite a while. It's all the way out there by Hopkinsville.
Okay.
So they don't get a lot of traffic out that way.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Mom.
but now it's picking up. They're
Wrestling's huge right now.
yeah.
Everybody loves wrestling. And we've been, telling everybody for as long as we've been doing this, get out and watch a promotion. Get out and go and see. It's nothing like going to a small show and seeing it in person. Because sometimes you get to talk to the, most of the time you get to talk to the wrestlers, and most of the time you can get an autograph from them, a picture, and
Yep.
and get close to the ring as you can. You're never getting that close to WWE
right.
rings.
Somebody said hi.
Oh yeah.
That was my mom.
Oh, that was his mom. His
Okay.
mom. Yeah, she watches every show. She's one of our biggest fans, or his biggest fan.
Nal's also been trying to do. They do training there for them locally because it's really hard for them to come out of there.
Yeah.
So they've been running the place and training locals and stuff, and they're trying to raise enough funds to have their own building down there.
Oh, cool.
So they've been trying to. They've been.
I
doing
would
a
love to
GoFundMe.
have a. I would love for the podcast to blow up a little bit and us have an arena like in Jefferson, like kind of like you have in Jeffersonville.
Yeah.
Something in Lexington like this. So
That's right.
like all the promotions that we follow and we help promote. I would love for them to come and do a show here every once in a while. You know,
Yeah.
that would be great if we had a place that had a ring set up and all everybody had to do was come and just put up their ring gear, you know, the
Yeah.
ring skirt and this and that, and come and put a show in Lexington. Lexington doesn't do any shows.
Have
Like it's a
your own
big
mats.
place, and you know, wrestling's been here forever. You know, Macho Man and them
Yep.
wrestled here. I mean, Lexington's a wrestling town. It really is, because when New South was doing their shows at the Ice Center, I mean, he was putting 200 or 300 people in there.
Yeah.
I mean, easily, and he just kind of like popped up, and you know, 200 or 300 people was coming in, you know, and
That's
then
right.
then he moved to Lawrenceburg, and then 30 back to 30 again. It was like, and he had fucking people like Booker
wrong
T
with
and
that,
Nick
though.
Aldis, and he had so many big names down there.
Yeah.
And it's just nobody wants to go to Lawrenceburg to watch wrestling, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, you got a bunch of people down there, but like everybody was used to him being in Lexington or Nicholsville, you know, and Lexington needs I wish that we had a place here. Everything's so expensive.
Yeah.
And the schools won't let you come in there because they're worried about their floors getting messed up, which is understandable.
It's understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, but we've been looking for a place. I mean,
Leon says it's on the Game Changer Facebook.
oh, it is.
Yeah. I'm about to go see the verify.
Okay, just verify it is before we announce anything like that.
He should have started out with that.
The AEW is a wild. AEW does some wild stuff, man. I didn't watch their pay per view, but I checked it out the other day, and man, they're doing some wild stuff. The Young Bucks came back to help Moxley win against Swerve,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants the Young Bucks to join with Moxley. What did she pass away from, Johnny?
It says
Is that
Hey.
is that official Game Changer Wrestling
that is.
Facebook? Okay.
It says GCW mourns the loss of Sandra Culbertson, the longtime partner and wife of Nick Gage. Sandra was a passionate and fierce member of the MDK gang and was a loud and proud face in the crowd from day one of GCW CCW. She is part of GCW family and she will be remembered and missed. Rest in peace. But does not say what she's died of yet.
Rest in peace. Hopefully,
R.I.P. to Sandra.
that's sad news.
Yep. Because you never know. That's why they say, kiss and tell your loved ones that you love them. You never know when next day they might be gone.
Yeah.
But if we ever find a place here in Lexington, we would love to be able to do something like that. Cause,
we can probably find a place. We just need to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that,
Lexington
you know,
likes to
everybody.
hike the
That's a
prices.
problem of every promotion. I think. You know, I think some of these guys got it down pat where they've got they're in with the schools and stuff. You know, Appalachian does a lot of stuff with schools, and they raise a lot of raise a lot of fund for a lot of those basketball programs and stuff down there. Which Appalachian does a lot of charity work, which is great. UCW, I'm sure, does too. I'm sure they all give back to the schools, and
Yeah.
which is the way to do it. But you know, Fayette County don't need our money.
Yeah.
So,
Fayette County's kind of cheapskates and also greedy.
but
If
like,
they
I
see
would
you
love
making
to have a
good
place like the arena. You know, like he has several promotions running out of there. I would love that. I would love to be like, hey, come up here and run your like Appalachian Mountain Wrestling. I'd love for those guys to come up here and run a show. Elite Wrestling, UCW,
Yeah.
USW, like all those guys. I would love for them to come up here and do a show, you know, for the wrestling fans in Lexington, which, you know, There's a bunch of wrestling fans here in Lexington.
Exactly. Like, Lexington can have a hotbed of wrestling.
Yeah.
But if you make a lot of money at these promotions, then Lexington will be like, I want the most of that pot.
Well, I
So
think that's
basically
the
you're
problem.
paying Lexington.
That was the problem with the ice centers was that they gave him the place for a certain amount of money, and then they seen how many people he was putting in there, and then they're like, oh, we want to raise your rent,
Yeah.
which they should have said, hey, let's just give me, give us a couple dollars of everybody that comes through the door, which, hey, if I sell the tickets, I'll give you $2 off each ticket,
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just raise, I don't know, I guess you can do whatever.
If we have a set contract agreement,
But some people,
that's what you're
some
gonna get.
people, some of these places don't want wrestling fans around too, so I think they raise the rent so they can get rid of the wrestling fans. Like, down there in the YMCA down in Richmond. I mean, I guess they changed the agreement on him down there. And I'm not.
Well, I kind of know what happened.
I seen through Facebook, and I think someone else was trying to come in.
Another wrestling organization.
Yeah, that's just me thinking.
Huh, I haven't seen anybody promoting any shows out of there.
Well,
Oh, they said, oh, you're letting them and not letting us, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, we're not gonna let anybody know.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
man, that's nobody runs out of Richmond.
No.
Like, I mean, there
Yeah,
was
I
good
hate when
crowds
that
in
happens.
Richmond.
Oh yeah.
Danville's they get good crowds down there in Danville now.
We'll be there next Friday.
Yeah. Danville gets some good. Are you gonna be wrestling down there?
Oh, you never know.
Oh, the
never
Royal
know.
Rumble down the
You
little
never
Royal,
know.
I mean,
Royale.
Rumble Royale's
Rumble
coming up.
Royale.
Yeah, you
I think
never
put
know.
Johnny in there. The Royal Rumble. Maybe Johnny. Maybe we can put you in.
Maybe. They just gotta watch where they punch.
Yeah, your neck is out of whack there. Maybe we should wait.
You know who to blame?
Who?
Your boy,
Oh.
Icon Lee.
Yeah, he's okay.
I mean, you
He's-
showed up. He's not blaming you, and you showed up late after he lost.
Oh, he did blame me that night. Actually, he got pretty pissed at me.
Well, that's his fault
He's
because
like,
you don't need
wasn't
us.
Here. There wasn't nobody here to help me.
You don't need us to be there to win your match.
I mean, he went up against. He put the title up against Marty Clay. Like, what do you expect?
Marty Clay is better
mean-
than Icon Lee.
He's a. I mean, he's got the crowd behind him. Like,
Oh my
it's
God,
hard to
it's-
beat. Like,
Oh my God, Tony Schiavone's getting a wet dream right now.
it's hard to go up against a guy that has the whole crowd on their side. I mean, it's like
You're right.
it gets you out of your whack. It gets you it's hard to beat somebody that has that big of fans.
But your name is Icon Lee, and it's your domain. You should be able to drown out those fans.
well, we got a new champion now, so we don't really.
That's right. Our champion is the greatest champion there ever was. I've been saying since 2022 that Marty Clay should have been our champion to begin with. Screw Icon Lee. Icon Lee's a joke. Go eat your sheep because you're the peasant
Are you
around
sure
here.
the door's locked? You better watch out.
Yes, the door's locked. Ow.
Oh, good lord.
I'm pretty sure Icon got like a record at OVW for being pinned the quickest though.
Oh my
Probably.
God, you're
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
He's
there's that.
Yeah, he's up for I think he's up for a championship match soon. I think.
Thank you, Maggie.
What did they say?
She said, "Hey, Johnny, you're looking better.
Oh, really? Better than what?
Better than what I did last week."
That's good. That's good, I guess. Women's wrestling is live.
If only Next could heal fast enough.
Did you hear what they called her? They had a tag team together. Did you hear what they called their tag team?
The Thunder Tits.
That's crazy.
I love it.
That's wild.
Also, Tony Giovanni.
Thunder
had
Rose
his
is a
wet
great
dreams.
wrestler.
Oh, yeah.
Tony is too. They're great wrestlers. Oh, Chris Statlander, she's an awesome wrestler too.
That's right.
I think WWE is supposed to be bringing back their all women pay per view soon. I think.
Yeah, they might.
It's been a few
I
years.
don't know.
since
It's
they've
been
had
a
one.
rumor.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They're supposed to be bringing it back this year. This year, I think they're going to bring it back. I think.
If they do, that'd be great for all the women that's working there, plus the WWE ID women.
Yeah.
Because did you hear that when someone wins the WID championships, if they defend it at different promotions, whoever wins, if they're beaten by an independent talent that's not contracted by WWID, then that person will be offered a contract by WWID.
Oh, wow.
I think that's awesome.
That is that's a pretty good idea.
That's right, it is. But you see, Tony Schiavone has the best seat of the house because he just had Tony Storm crawl across that table on him. That man's living his best life right now.
Yeah.
Just imagine what's happening to him while she's sitting right next to him.
They have AEW has a great bunch of women wrestlers. I always thought that they should make when they had that Rampage show on Friday nights. I thought they should have made that mostly women's wrestling. You know how you have all guys wrestling and then you may have one woman wrestling show. Why didn't you have just all the women's wrestling and then maybe have one guy show, one guy match? On a show like that, like on Rampage. I think that would go over good. I think people would actually tune in and watch something like that. You know
exactly.
I don't know why they don't have more of a mostly women wrestling show. I mean, they steal the show most of the time.
Exactly. More often than not, the women put on bangers better than all the men.
Back when we first started doing the podcast and WWE was garbage, I was tuning in and the only really great wrestling show, these women were still in the show. Mm-hmm. They were just doing such great stuff. I don't know why one of these big promotions don't do a totally mostly women show, and don't even have to say that that's what it is. Just do it. Hey, this ain't the women's show. We're just going to put more women wrestlers on this show and maybe one male wrestling match and do it that way.
Exactly.
I mean, they're very talented. They're great. Thunder Rosa's a freaking star.
Yeah.
Yes, she is, but she's also had to deal with people trying to say that she's sandbags. When you watch her matches, she ain't sandbag nobody.
No, they just and then Brett Baker. I don't know why they're not wrestling her very much.
She's gone from AEW.
Is she?
Yeah,
yep.
Her contract's up.
She going WWE thing? NXT.
She started in NXT, but she's also a real life dentist.
Oh yeah.
So
I think she'll be back to wrestling. She has to be back to wrestling.
Yes, she does.
She's a star.
She's
great in the ring.
She is.
Yeah.
But fans hate her.
You think the fans hate her?
Yeah, because they universally talk smack about her on X all the time, and on Facebook as well.
I don't think that's a bad thing if you're hated by being a wrestler, being hated by the fans. I think that's
if it's a nuclear X-Pac heat.
I think it's a good thing sometimes.
Not if it's X-Pac heat though.
If you're getting talked about,
yeah. Like that wrestling match of me and Johnny. Oh man,
that's
people talk so.
That's the greatest trash talking I've ever heard.
People talk so much shit about
famous,
us,
Andy,
and I love it. We got like what is it? Like almost 100,000 views on that now, and I love it. Every time, look at these old guys wrestling. Who let them in the ring and this and that. I'm like, Terry England let us in the ring. Blame him.
That's right, but Terry England has the balls to do it.
Yeah.
You don't see another promotion trying to have the balls.
But I love all wrestling. I love all wrestling. Like even the bad stuff. Even if you go and you watch somebody do some bad wrestling, it's just
bad wrestling.
I love it. Like I just I think there's some you get some wrestlers come in here and they're like, this guy shouldn't be in the ring and that guy shouldn't be in the ring, and I think there's a place for just about anybody in the wrestling ring. I think. I mean, you got your elite ones, you got your elite wrestlers that know what they're doing. You're not going to get your elite wrestlers wrestling some joke that that's in the ring just to be joking and having a good time. You know, I mean, I think all
you got your R-Truths.
Yeah, I think but he's an elite wrestler. I mean, he's not a trash.
He's former NWA heavyweight.
Yeah, he's a great wrestler. I mean, I'm talking about
he's also a great comedy.
I'm talking about those guys down there.
TSW.
Those guys, they got their own. They got their own niche down there. Leave those guys alone. I mean, that's what they're doing down there. Let them do it. They got their fans down there. They're doing their own thing. I mean,
You also got,
they're entertaining somebody.
Yeah.
You also got Frank the Tank.
Yeah.
I've been in the ring with Frank.
Yeah. Frank's great.
That's right. Now, I guarantee Frank would be telling them, if this shit sucks, y'all better be changing it. Because Frank's a veteran.
Who do you see coming up in the Kentucky wrestling and up there in Indy that you're like, this guy, he's going to be something at some point?
Ethan, higher.
Either
Yes.
higher. Yeah.
Yeah,
He takes so many bumps.
he does.
He-
I probably took quite a few of his bumps out of his bump card. When I worked with him, but
He gets demolished most of the time, and I don't know how long he's going to be able to do that.
yeah,
I mean, I know he's young, but
he's got the Spike Dudley mentality.
yeah.
Small guy getting crap beat out of him, and somehow comes out with the win.
You
It
ever see him like going up to AEW and stuff like? You think he can make it that far?
if he has a drive, possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, it all depends on who he's in the ring with to bring the best out of him. Like he's got May 11th, he's going against Gaston.
Yeah.
At Bullpen.
Good dance partner.
Gaston's a great wrestler too.
Yeah,
He really is. I feel like he's got one of the best suplexes in the business.
yeah.
It just looks really good.
He's also got a good Liger bomb.
And he sings great too. He does.
He is the Mozart.
He's got such a beautiful voice.
He's also a great wrestler to take on Ethan
Who was
Higher.
who was the black guy down there at UCW that wrestled?
Kevo Drives.
Kevo. Yeah.
Kevo was amazing.
He can go
He
somewhere.
looks like a star.
Yep.
He looks like somebody that could be like in GCW, like somebody that AEW bound. Like
Yeah.
he just has the look. He's pumped and
He's got to get a
and
little
he's
bit,
great in the ring. He's great in the ring.
Him and Ethan, they got to get a little bit more seasoning in them.
Yeah.
And, they should be good.
Yeah.
That's right. I am the only guy that had Cass Jackson's dreadlocks when he had them get checked for weapons. Because I remember it was 2021.
Cash.
I was at a KPW show. And it was Cass Jackson versus Crash Jackson. I yelled at, check his dreadlocks. Check his dreadlocks. Finally, Cash looks around. He's like, check my what? Check my dreadlocks. Then he tilts his head down for the referee check. I was the only guy to get a chant like that starting and get dreadlocks to be checked. Because usually it's the tights being checked or it's shoes or anything else. I'm like, no, I want to see those dreadlocks get checked. And now he's bald.
Who you like getting in the ring with? Who's your favorite guy to wrestle?
Good question.
Brandon Wolf.
Such a star? Such a star.
I like getting in the ring with Ethan.
Ethan, yeah.
Kevo.
Kevo.
Charles Colton. Me and him, we can just beat the dog snot out of each other.
Yeah.
That's about it, really. I mean,
Yeah.
if I know I'm going against them,
Yeah. It's easy.
the night off.
Yeah, those matches are easy matches.
Yeah,
Fun matches probably.
yeah.
Yeah. Who do you want to get in the ring with?
I'll get in the ring with anybody.
Yeah.
It don't matter to me.
Like who have you seen wrestling? And you're like, damn, I think I could wrestle that guy.
Well,
I mean, a local guy and a major league guy.
local guy. Oh, so many of them.
You've probably been in the ring with like almost everybody at this point.
So many of them.
Yeah.
But major guy. If I was fantasy booking, I would probably go against Samoa Joe.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Would you like to be on the top rope jumping off when he walks away?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Samoa's, like I've been a fan of Samoa Joe for years and years. I loved when he was in TNA,
Muscle Buster.
I went to Lawrenceburg and seen TNA down there with all those guys. They were all there. Steiner, Kurt Angle. I got pictures with those guys, and AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. They had a great show down there. I think that's when they had the 6-sided ring too. Yeah. They, Steiner and Steiner was always one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Steiner, Booker T is always my favorite. Kurt Angle was always. I was a big TNA guy back in the day when they had the 6-sided ring.
Too.
I just loved that shit.
Yeah.
And then
It
Hulk
was
Hogan
unique.
decided.
Yeah, it was unique. Yeah, and they were doing crazy stuff. And then the Ultimate X, and nobody was doing that stuff when they had the Ultimate X. I guess the Luchadors were always doing that kind of stuff. WCW was always doing that kind of crazy stuff with Jericho and Eddie Guerrero when they were doing that kind of stuff. It was beautiful freaking wrestling. I just been such a wrestling fan since when I walked in one day when I was a little kid, and my Pepaw Elmer and my Pepaw Otis, his dad, we're sitting there watching Ric Flair and Nikita Koloff, and those guys were wrestling, and I was like, what is this? I was a little kid. I don't even know how old I was, probably 8 or 9 years old, and I sat down and watched it, and I was like, when does this come back on?
Yeah.
And I was hooked ever since.
My earliest memory had been early 1990s, because it had been 1993 that I first took notice of The Undertaker.
This was
He's
back
still
when
Great Glove.
This was back when like it was TBS when it come on at like 7:05 or something like that.
Yeah.
And
Old school.
yeah, TBS stuff like I think it was, I want to say it was NWA.
Yeah.
Was here NWA or it was WCCW?
It might have been that. I don't even know. I didn't even know to think about what. All I knew was it was wrestling, and this was Ric Flair and man, Arn Anderson, such a freaking Arn Anderson, man, he
Best spine buster in the game.
that spine buster,
Ain't nobody
but
ever
like
pulled
was
it off.
great on the microphone. Just amazing on the microphone.
Yeah.
He didn't do what Ric Flair did. He did his own thing, but just would sit there and looked like somebody's uncle.
Yep.
Would just fucking talk shit to you, like just talking shit, man. He's in there talking shit to you. And I'm like, who is this guy? And then he went in and get in a ring. He can back it up, like the enforcer, Arn Anderson.
Meanwhile, his brother Ole Anderson is the most hated Anderson ever.
I never really liked Ole, but
Ole, yes.
yeah,
He
Tully
had-
Blanchard was pretty good in the ring.
Yeah.
Those guys were really good in the ring. They really were.
I only know Ole as Shockmaster because he was the voice of it.
Yep, he did the voice of Shockmaster.
Yeah.
And he did the voice for the Black Scorpion.
Yep.
Who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
Oh, well, see, I was growing up on, USWA, so I had Lawler, I had
Oh, okay.
Dundee.
Yeah. So you're from down south there, right?
No, I'm from,
Where you from? Kentucky?
Kentucky, yeah.
Like what? South Kentucky?
Hardin County, which is right beside Fort Knox.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little bit more southern than we are.
Yeah, so, I had, Lawler and all them go up to the Gardens every Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Watch
Man.
the Rock and Roll Express
Man.
versus the Moondogs, and I'm just like,
You,
yes.
you was a lucky kid, man. That close to that wrestling. You had somebody in your life, older person that would take you, right? Who would take you? Your dad?
Mom, Dad, Grandma.
Oh, it was a whole family.
We all go every Tuesday.
Yeah. What do
night.
your mom and dad and them think about you being a wrestler?
Well, I don't really know because they passed away years ago.
Before you became a wrestler?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
they probably loved it. They
Oh,
would probably
yeah.
they
Yeah.
would probably they would have probably been at every your shows.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my grandmother came to a couple of my shows, and I always gave her shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you have to. You have
But,
to.
You always got to.
But just going to the Gardens, that was it for me.
Yeah.
I loved WWF at the time, but just going to the Gardens.
I always liked WWF, but I was always I was always WCW guy. I was always the alternative of WWE because or WWF. WWF seemed cartoonish to me. And
Yeah.
I always liked the more realistic wrestlers.
Yeah.
When I would see that, when ECW came around, I loved that. And WCW I loved all that. NWO, I loved all that. And and then the Attitude Era when WWE, I loved all that. I love when they were both on Monday night, and you can I would sit and watch until the commercial came on, and then I'd flip it over to the other one and watch until the commercial came on. I'd flip it back over to the other.
WCW started at 8:00. WWE started at 9.
Yeah.
So I would have a whole hour.
Yeah.
Of WCW.
Yeah.
Then 9:00. I'll flip to that.
Yeah.
Okay, Austin's on.
I don't know when they were doing that. I don't know if I ever I ever had to watch a commercial.
Yeah,
I loved it. Like you could turn it over and watch wrestling over here, and then a commercial comes back, turn it back over there, and watch wrestling over there. You didn't watch any commercials. That was great.
That's true.
Sometimes if I had something else going on, I couldn't start watching WCW when it came on, so I would wait because when they were on TNT, they went from 8 to 10.
They would play it over, wouldn't they?
They would play it over.
They would play it over. I remember that. I remember being able to watch it late. I forgot all about that.
So I would watch Raw, then
watch the replay.
Watch the replay of that, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah. I forgot they did that.
I loved flipping between the channels though.
Right now you can, with everything being on the streamings, you can go back and watch Netflix. You can watch it anytime you want.
Yeah.
And Max has AEW.
Yep.
But they do edit things though.
Oh yeah, they do edit things. Who's your favorite wrestler?
I was a Stone
This
Cold
guy?
girl.
Oh, you like Stone Cold?
Nice.
Yeah.
I watched it with my dad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stone Cold's great. I remember.
Yeah, like Goldberg.
How long have you been a wrestling fan since you was a kid?
I watched it when I was little, whenever with my dad, and I kind of got out of it for a while, and then my sons brought me back into it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Was you a wrestling fan when you and James got together?
No. Well, I was when we got together, but when we first met, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I did his promos when we first became friends.
Oh, okay.
And I was new at that, and so he kind of told me what he needed, and so we did that. But then he told me how to help my youngest Jack, and so we went to the outdoor Hardin County Fair, and it was OVW, and then it was UCW back to back, and so we did those, and he fell in love with them. And then OVW had a outdoor picnic, and I took them to that, took Jack to that, and then he loved it, and so then Sam wanted to go. And so after that, they just fell in love with wrestling.
Yeah.
And so then I started that. And actually, I took a class at Grindhouse with Billy. And
To wrestle?
I took a couple of classes.
To wrestle?
I did.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Awesome! I didn't know you was a wrestler too.
I didn't make it.
Yeah.
I just took a couple of classes because it was just really hard for me.
Oh,
because I was 30. 37 at the time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
DDP was 35.
Was that a couple weeks ago? You was 37 a couple weeks ago,
No.
right?
That's right. DDP was.
Yeah.
I'll be 40 this year, so.
Okay. So a few years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I took a couple
I'll be
classes.
40. I think I'll be 40 this year. Won't I, Johnny?
You're past 40.
So
You're 30.
Jack
Actually.
was like a little down on himself at that point, and I said, if I can take, a couple classes, would you convince you to do it or whatever, because he wants to be a wrestler.
Okay.
Jack
How old is he?
He's 15.
Okay.
He's been training a little bit.
He's got time.
Yeah, he's been training. But he's been taking some advice from him and working with Vic. And,
Oh yeah, Vic. Yeah. Yeah.
And so I told him that, and I did a couple of classes. Actually ended up being with Billy, which Billy's the same age as my oldest son. And so I took a couple, and then with her, and then just started taking pictures with Null, and then I started taking pictures with UCW.
Okay. Cool.
And I did practice at OVW.
Yeah. 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 I think we bring in a lot of the wrestling talent, but there's a lot more other people, in with the wrestling that makes the wrestling show count that we probably ought to bring more of those people in.
Yep.
We've had
referees
and
photographers.
the obvious ones we've had in, but and we've had a few photographers in here. But there's other people, promoters. We've had promoters, but I mean, there's people that make the flyers, and there's people that go and talk and book and get that talk to the people to get people to sponsor them, and there's a lot of other people that are involved in wrestling that we should get more of those guys in to talk to them too.
We've had agents in here, producers.
Yeah, OVW. We've had a few OVW producers, and we can seem to get those guys in here. We can't get none of their stars in here. We've had some of their stars in here, I guess.
Yeah, we've had Jebediah Blackhawk, which of course he's also a producer.
Yeah.
So.
You should reach out to my buddy Big Zoe.
Zoe. Okay.
Me and him, we used to tag together.
Okay. Maybe we can get you
Send
to
me
reach out
his
to him.
Facebook name later.
Yeah.
I'll hit him up.
Yeah.
We love those OVW guys. I mean, they're they act like it's so far away, and it's like they're probably the closest to us than a lot of people are. I mean, we've had people to drive 2 or 3 hours to get here. I don't know where you guys came from, but
it's like hour and a half.
Hour and a half, yeah. Yeah. I don't mind driving an hour and a half, but getting you get to 3 and 4 hours, that's crazy.
What about the 5-hour drives?
Chicago's 5-hour drive. If I'm going to go anywhere, 5-hour drive, I want to go to Chicago. I love going to Chicago. You been up to Chicago?
I've been to Joliet, Illinois, and Chicago Ridge.
Yeah.
Nice.
And
to wrestle?
To actually watch shows.
Oh, to watch shows.
Chicago Ridge, I went there to go watch Ring of Honor. It was a non-taping of it was like a dark match. It was Tyler Black, which is Seth Rollins, versus Samoa Joe.
Oh wow, that's
the very main event.
Oh, I bet.
So, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
When I went to Juliet, it was IWA Mid-South. It was their Ted Petty Invitational. And
Jericho's going off.
He's always breaking those trons.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
A lot of people give Ian the rotten, bad name. Well, of course, he brought it out himself.
Oh, yeah.
But, he would always bring in top talent.
Yeah.
No matter who it was.
What's the story about him? Really?
He's one of the reasons why Kentucky has so many rules and regulations with wrestling.
Really?
Yeah.
He was the promoter. Yeah.
He put his lot.
Yeah. Every show was blood and guts. And, they told him, you don't have to have that every show. And he said, well, watch me. And
that's what he wanted to do.
And that's what caused the regulations.
Seems like AEW wants to do blood all the time.
Yeah. Which, to me, blood's all right.
Yeah.
I prefer to tell stories.
There should be a time and place for it.
Yeah.
But, you got the deathmatch guys. I like watching it.
Yeah.
I will try to do 1 or 2 of them. But,
there's some crazy stuff that you can see on the internet of these people throwing each other off top of houses and off top of buildings and through 4 or 5 tables and like the whole neon, like the fluorescent lights.
The light tube.
I would do them. I have no problem doing.
You do
those.
it, yeah. Those
the
probably
easiest thing to take is the thumbtacks because you take them, they go in perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But take them out, they hurt like a motherfucker.
But yeah, I mean, I've been to quite a few death matches.
Yeah.
Me and her are going down to Chattanooga in May.
Nice.
To watch ICW No Holds Barred. Like their concept, they take the ropes down and they put chains up.
Wow.
As the ropes. And they just...
Sounds great.
It's like a battle of the tough guys.
I bet.
Type deal. But, it's a different concept.
I mean, try it. Try it.
Yeah.
Try anything. I mean, as long as everybody's professional and nobody's really going to get freaking like killed,
Yeah.
like try it. Like, these
I
guys
mean,
are doing.
If it gets like too serious, like if someone gets cut too serious, they'll stop
Yeah.
and they'll tend to them or whatever, get them patched up and on the way to the hospital. But it's a different beast.
Yeah.
Death matches aren't for everybody.
No.
No.
They're not.
They're not for every wrestler either.
No.
But some of them some of these wrestlers get a big name by like what.
Madman Pondo.
Yeah, Madman Pondo.
He likes to take that saw to you and that knife that you had.
I love watching his matches.
I think he's been in Japan for about a year now.
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah,
So that's one of the guys I kind of want to do one with.
yeah. He seems to know what he's doing.
Yeah.
We've watched him do stuff up Paradigm.
Yep, at XEF.
Yeah, we watched
Paradigm.
him. Paradigm. We watched him. XCF too. Yeah.
I have to tell you though, the light tubes are beautiful.
What is it?
The light tubes are beautiful.
The fluorescent light tubes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love taking those pictures. Oh, so beautiful.
Heck yeah.
You like taking pictures?
Oh yeah, they're great. I love it.
Okay.
And they look great busting over someone's head
That's
too
what I
when
mean.
they explode.
It's great. So because it has the dust, has the special dust in it.
Uh-huh.
So
Yep.
we went once before, and I got Kobe Carino with it busting over his head and the blood dripping.
Oh,
was
wow.
beautiful.
Great. Cool.
Heck yeah.
I mean, if you need a place to post some of your pictures, I would make you an administrator on the Facebook, and you could post any pictures you wanted to on there.
Yeah,
Because we don't have a lot of, we do a lot of videos, but we don't have a lot of pictures.
Are on my Facebook.
Yeah.
From the match y'all did. So
Nice.
From
yeah,
the
y'all's
match we
pictures,
did?
Yeah.
Well, we have to go check her Facebook out.
Yeah, I
You
have.
have you went and seen it?
Yep.
I don't look at much. I work a lot, and then I try to do this, and I don't know.
They were great pictures, Andy.
I need to go look at them.
She got one of you doing a Ric Flair bump, flopping right onto your face.
Okay.
So you weren't here, but John's book's coming out. John Cosper's book is
Oh.
coming out. He's going to be shipping them. The Grindhouse book came out today.
Okay.
And so he'll be shipping them out tomorrow. And then Larry D's is going to be shipping out Saturday, he said, but for the signed ones.
Okay.
But I'm in that one. I'm on the cover, and there's 5 pictures in there from Grindhouse.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's my first
Awesome.
book.
Oh,
So I'm
cool.
excited.
Heck yeah. Yeah, that's something to be excited about.
Yeah. I was excited about that one.
Exactly. And John Cosper has great insight into OVW as well. I'm sure you got him on your Facebook as well, Andy. He is OVW's go-to if you want to know all that you want to know about OVW.
I need to talk to him. We need to have him in here.
Yes, we do, because he's the guy that works his ass off. On the Fan Zone, you will see John Cosper's name more often than you will anyone else.
We'll get him in here, Johnny. We'll talk to him.
I'll work on that one.
He wrote Madman Pondo's book.
Yep.
He needs to write a book about us.
Yes, I would be down for that. He can use our pictures. But that's what it's all about, is that you build a connection. That's what professional wrestling is.
Yep.
And people may hate deathmatch wrestling, but there's some places where it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think people hate it. I guess. I mean,
There's a lot of people.
There's a lot of
Sean
people
Johns vehemently hates deathmatch
Does he?
wrestling.
Yeah.
a lot of people do frown upon on death.
Oh, I'm
match
sure they do.
wrestling,
You know, they frown a lot on everything. I think wrestling sometimes gets frowned upon by
Yeah.
itself. You
yeah.
know.
I mean,
Remember this.
If you look
Ba-
back in the day, Bruiser Brody and Abdul the Butcher, they were
Yep.
doing the same stuff.
Oh
as
yeah, yeah.
Some of
Exactly.
these guys are doing today.
Bruce Brody was the man that would go into the crowd with a chain. He'd be swinging around, daring someone to attack him. But the thing is, it wasn't just for that. It was also so it could keep people from trying to attack him, because his gimmick was a wild man. So him going through the crowd, him doing that chain, that's also to stop people from wanting to charge at him and try to stab him or something.
Especially in Puerto Rico.
That's right. Yeah, fuck Puerto Rico. Because they killed him. We lost a good man. All because someone had a grudge for, I think it was about 19, maybe 18 years. All because 1970s. And then we lost him. But hey, at least he left a bigger legacy than the man that stabbed him.
Yep.
Think about that. He may have killed him. Bruiser Brody is still the man that we speak about to this day, who we remember and who we think about because he had some wild matches. People can say what they want about Bruiser Brody, but that man carried himself well. He knew what his gimmick was all about. And yeah, he may have been the guy that be like, I'm not going to do that. But hey, maybe he had a reason for it.
Yeah.
And think about it, he'll be honest with you. If he didn't like Lex Luger, he would have let Lex Luger know real fast that steel cage match. But really, he stopped wanting to work with him because he was angry with the promoter and also because he was just fed up. Yep. He worked with Lex Luger all the way until the moment where he finally just stopped laying into Lex. And Lex just like, what are you doing, Brody? And Brody's just standing there because Brody's like, think to himself, I'm not going to do a damn thing for you because this just helping that promoter and I don't like that promoter. So people can say what they want about Bruce Brody, but I think that Bruce Brody was one of the best wrestlers that ever existed because his gimmick, his look, his presence, without all that, you wouldn't be having wrestlers today that are big men that are doing as wild things as he does.
Yep.
So, say what you want, but Bruce Brody was the man. And that's who John Moxley wants to be. But here's the thing. John Moxley, his ideal for his storyline is what he's been doing this whole time. And it's killed AEW's championship. I've never heard of someone wanting to put the title inside of a suitcase because he thinks the fans should be looking at it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's doing the reverse of factor. It's killing the credibility of the title that is AEW's biggest or prize right there. I've actually been hating that he's champion. Like Swerve Strickland should have won Sunday night and become champion. But guess who told him no? Oh, let's bring back the Young Bucks and stop this kid from winning.
Yeah, Swerve should be the champion over at AEW, but hey, what did I say? AEW said something different, didn't I?
But that's the thing with John Moxley. He thinks that his storylines work, but if we were to ask Punk or Brock Lesnar,
they haven't showed the belt. Like they haven't showed the championship belt in months.
Ever since October.
Ever since Moxley's had the belt, he's had it in a case, and they haven't showed the belt. Like, why are you having a champion that doesn't show his belt? That doesn't make no sense to me. I don't know.
And his storyline about he doesn't want the fans to see it, it makes no sense because the fans have already seen the championship. It'd be different if this was a brand new title that was created.
Well, it very well could be.
Exactly. They're not even doing anything with it. Every match they've had has been the same. It's had fans kind of being put off of AEW because they know what's happening, and they're no longer wanting to see AEW because John Moxley's story.
We've been on here since we're almost at 10 now. I got a couple of things here now. Kind of things that go over here. Michael Gilgerson presents Country Boy Comedy Night at the starring Michael Gilgerson, Mason Pryor, and local comedians. Friday, May the 9th, Country Boy Brewing, Georgetown, Kentucky. $20 online and $25 at the door. 7:30 p.m. door opens and 8 p.m. the show begins. This is on May the 9th, Country Boy in Georgetown, Kentucky. This weekend, we have AMW Weekend of Champions. AMW Weekend Champions. We have, it's Saturday, April the 12th, 7 p.m., Breathitt County High School. The Tag Team Championship is going to be online. You got AMW Women's Championship. Big Mama has an open challenge. You got the Monsters Ball match. You got Zodiac events versus Misery, Mask versus Mask. Then you got meet and greet with special guests Rip Rogers.
That's a great one.
AMW Southeast Championship belt is on the line. Title is on the line. And you got a triple threat ladder match. Looks like with lifeguard Ross,
Yep.
Jordan Carey. I can't see it. And CJ Knight, and versus Marcus Johnson, Adrian Alexander, and Nick Hemrick. And then you have the AEMW Championship is on the line for Stan Sierra versus Kyle Maggard versus Marty Clay. That's
right,
be
our champion.
Incredible night at the Weekend of Champions, guys. You've got to get down there to Breathitt County. It is 2307 Bobcat Lane, Jackson, Kentucky. AMWWrestling.com. And every Tuesday on YouTube, you can watch the Showdown. Is it called Showdown?
Yep.
Showdown. AMW Showdown series. Go over there to watch their YouTube channel, guys. It's growing. It's fast. Check out the shorts. Check out all their promotions over there at the AEMW YouTube channel. And go to watch Nice Guy Andy podcast channel on YouTube. Please go and subscribe. Go to Facebook and subscribe. We're almost at 30,000 followers, guys.
Yeah, we are.
Get us over that hump. And what else you got to say, Johnny?
Well, we come to a time where the show's come to an end, guys. Who wants to say their goodbyes first?
You guys got anything to put over? You want to give out your social medias?
I'm on Facebook, James Kendrick.
Tell them when to catch the bullpen.
Bullpen is Sunday, May 11th. I have another show April 26th in Nebo, Kentucky for NAW. I'll be in a tag team last man standing match.
Nice.
Anything else that I know?
That's all we know of right now.
Tell them where to find your content. Tell everybody where to find your pictures and tell them what you do and who you are and tell them where to find you.
My main page is my actual name, which is Chrystal Brigman, and then I have a photography page, Charms Photos. But most of my stuff is on my main page.
How do they get a hold of you? They want to book you for taking photography?
On there, on Facebook is fine. And then I'm on Instagram under Hoovian0906.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
So if anybody needs any pictures taken, holler at your girl.
Yeah, all pictures. Like I said, I can do like all of them, except like I just don't do most weddings unless it's just like a oh crap wedding. That's what I do. So.
Oh crap wedding?
Yeah, like.
If you're having an old shitty wedding, give her a call.
Yep.
She'll take pictures.
That's right.
Mainly like a shotgun wedding.
Yeah, shotgun weddings. Is
That's
like,
right.
That's my special.
I love doing weddings.
Yeah.
Like when I first started my YouTube channel, I went and done a couple weddings and videoed them, and I picked some clips on there and got like a bunch of like 30,000 views, 60,000 views. So weddings get a lot of. You should go do. I think somebody should go do like just go and video people's weddings and then stick it on YouTube, and people would watch it.
Well, the reason why I don't is
Yeah.
because my oldest son has had cancer twice,
Yeah.
and he has a lot of chronic issues still.
Yeah.
And so I would hate to like put out anything and then I not be able to do it.
Yeah.
So because it's so hard to get photographers set because they need them so far out, and so for me to have to cancel,
Yeah.
I would feel bad.
Yeah. How's he doing?
We've had an issue with his heart right now.
Really?
So his heart has took a little bit of a plunge. So right now we're just kind of waiting to see what happens from that.
Do you have any what is it called? Pages where people can send you money and help you?
No, not at this point, because we're just just waiting to see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, we'll pray for you.
I appreciate it.
That's right.
Thank you. Yeah.
He has a ultrasound on the 11th. We're going to see if there's more fluid and then see if he needs to start diuretics. So
Y'all hear there, guys. We need some prayers. So
That's right. Send some prayers. Guys, this is Superfly John Lee. I got your pig icon, Lee.
he said something to you. What did he say?
He said, sounds like a pig ready for the knife. Know what I mean, Larkin Danielle? But hey, you know what? That just means that you're trying to take her knife. And you know what happens if people try to touch Larkin Danielle's knife, don't you?
Icon, we're
They
gonna have
get
to have
sliced.
Icon, we're gonna have to have a meeting. Me and you are gonna have to have a meeting. I'm gonna have to invite you to the studio, and we have to sit down and talk. Because
You better have Stan Sierra on the dial for that. Because Mr. Icon's talking about getting a hold of you.
he gonna get a hold of me. He don't want to. He ain't gonna get a hold of me.
He said that the next time he sees you, if he ain't had,
Well, he ain't
his
said that to
rematch
me,
made.
and at this point, it's hearsay. If he says it to me, like he ought to know how many acquaintances in this wrestling game that I have.
And
So
we're sitting inside
he
a room
really
with one
needs
of
to
them.
watch what he says to me.
I mean, we are sitting with the man that has beaten Icon Lee before.
Yeah. All I have to do is make a couple phone calls, and I'm okay. Okay. So
That's true.
Icon Lee, we need to sit down and talk. And if you do have a beef with me, we need to squash it because, it's not.
Hey, Chris
It's
Crow.
not gonna be good for anybody.
Chris Crow just chimed in. He said, "I'm gonna have to get back in there with y'all."
Heck yeah.
Heck
See?
yeah. We'll have to
And
set
maybe
it
Chris
up.
Crow will be here when you show up there, Icon Lee.
Oh man, that's a fire match. If I
James Kendricks
ever
is
heard one.
right now, so please
That's
don't walk
true.
through the door.
Yeah, Chris Crow, we definitely gotta get you back inside studio with us, brother.
Oh yeah, Chris is awesome.
We'll find a date for you and we'll set it up.
All right, guys,
If you're not having fun,
you're not getting none.
Dan Skippy and Icon Lee still lost.
Nice Guy Andy
We'll do the honors, brother.
podcast. Skullface Records Radio.
Watch the Nice Guy Andy podcast.
Those were expensive shoes. You guys, that diamond is custom made.
What is up, guys? This is OVW's Big Whiskey, Jared Kripke. And if you are top shelf talent, then you'd be watching the Nice Guy Andy podcast.
That ain't what your mama said.
If he keeps popping off at the mouth, I'm gonna be his daddy. We out, guys. Popping off at the mouth.
Anyways, you guys.